What's up, everybody? Welcome to Space Arena Ground Arena. Here with another deck tech video. This one is going to be Sabine with Vigilance. Now, I've been playing this deck a couple weeks. I felt like it was pretty strong with the Jedi Lightsaber and the healing with Yoda and Kanan and the Restored Arc. But then you still get the reach from like K2SO and Heroic Sacrifice and For a Cause I Believe in. So I'm just going to go through the deck quick, and then what I'm probably going to do on these deck tech videos is show a short, like felt table game just to get a feel for how it goes. It's not the best data, but it gives you an idea of how the deck plays. So real quick, we have 3 of the Spec Force Soldier 1-drop, 2 Heroic Sacrifice, 1 Benthic 2 tubes, 3 Restored Arcs, 3 Green Squadron A-Wings, 3 Sabine units, 2 Rebel Pathfinders, 3 copies of Yoda, 3 Jedi Lightsabers, 3 Fighters for Freedom, 3 Red 3, 3 For a Cause I Believe in, 3 Open Fire, 3 Fleet Lieutenant, 3 Wing Leader, 3 Kanan Jarrus, 2 Takedown, 4 K2SO. And then the base we're running is Security Complex. So this blue Sabine, what the thought process is you still have the reach of a Sabine deck with aggression, but it plays a little better into the like Boba Fett mid-range decks because really this Sabine doesn't care so much about having the initiative. We have a little more sustain because we have healing built in with Yoda, Kanan, and the Restored Arc. And then the Security Complex, ideally you're playing that on like a Sabine unit or like an A-Wing or a Red 3. Usually your turn 1 or turn 2 play, you want to put the shield on to just save a hit on the unit. And then you really get a lot of more mileage out of the Vigilance version of Sabine because you're okay with using her action every turn. Or in the other versions of Sabine, I think you care more about initiative. Here, initiative is nice, but here we're really trying to get mileage out of her ability to deal damage to each base, and then we're counting on our ability to get some heals out of the Arc, Yoda, and Kanan to mitigate that on our end. And then on top of that, dish out ridiculous amounts of damage. And then real quick, the sideboard, I have 2 copies of Wolf. If we hit a mirror or another deck that has a lot of healing, we'll put Wolf in. 1, keep fighting. I just like that extra reach sometimes. 2, Power Failure to handle heavy upgrade decks. 3 copies of the Disabling Fang Fighter, same thing. Hit those decks. And then Zeb, 2 copies of if we would hit like a swarmy deck that we can't handle the board very well, then Zeb will be there to help clean that up. So that's the basics. And then for removal, I have 2 copies of Takedown, 3 copies of Open Fire, and then this deck trades a little more with other units than typical Sabines kind of ignore. But you put a Jedi Lightsaber like on Kanan or Yoda or either Sabine, and they can deal damage to base and handle other units. So this deck is a little bit more combative on the battlefield and less of ignoring what your opponent is doing. But yeah, so that is the blue Sabine deck list in a nutshell. Like I said, the idea is to still be able to pile on the damage with our aggression cards, but to get mileage out of Sabine's frontside action as much as possible, and then mitigate the damage we're dealing to ourselves with healing effects. So I'm going to pop over to the Force table, and I have queued up a Leia, because Leia is pretty strong aggro. So we'll just see how this goes. I'm going to turn the volume off and bump the speed up. So here, I'm not going to mulligan because I see some good opening plays. So we're going to drop the Spec Force Soldier. I want to play Sabine turn 1. So I'm probably going to drop the Fighters for Freedom here because I want to be able to play Yoda. So we'll play Sabine. Leia's going to end up claiming probably because that's how Felt Table works. We give a shield to Sabine unit, and then we'll deal damage. Like I said, this isn't the best, like, testing it. You don't want to take. I've done a video on this already about force table. It's a great resource for when you are building a deck and you want to see how your deck functions, but it's not great for testing into the meta or gauntlet decks or anything like that. See here, I don't want Benthic to stay online. I don't want Lay to have units. So I'm gonna use the shield and still hit the base for one. And I did that probably wrong. I probably should have played red 3 first, but it's okay. I'm gonna play Yoda here. It's just filthy. I'm also rushing through this, so there we got another use out of Sabine. Not ready for heroic sacrifice. There they get the fleet lieutenant. So we will attack with Yoda. I was hoping for a Jedi lightsaber. Didn't get it. I take out the fleet lieutenant. I want to minimize the amount of board that Leia has access to. K2SO there. I'm going to play this open fire on K2SO. Get rid of the heroic sacrifice play right up front. And then we're going to go play the arc out. I'm probably going to end up losing this, but like I said, force table is not always the best for showing what it does in other decks, but it just lets you know that, like, what you're doing on your end, if your deck does what you want it to do or not. There's a for a cause I believe in there that could be disgusting, so we're gonna end the game here though with the fleet lieutenant, and we'll attack with Sabine in the base. So that was Sabine Vigilance, real quick felt table game. Like I said, I've said this, I'll say this over and over again. You'll hear me if I continue this with future deck techs or and the video I already made. Force table is a great resource for seeing if your deck does what you think you want it to do. If you're trying to test a combo deck, if you're trying to see synergies, or just see if your deck can function. But you can't use force table as a source of gauging the meta, a gauntlet, or any sort of competitive meta. Force table is really good, does better playing aggressive decks like this Leia deck. It did okay. The Sabine yellow, Sabine red, if you go mono, like, it'll do fine with those. But if you're doing more of a control combo deck, it kind of struggles there. So take it for what it's worth, but just so you can see what Sabine blue offers. I didn't get any healing off the arc because I played it late, but I got 2 swings off of Yoda for health. Sabine stayed alive because of trading with Benthic early, and I got 3 uses out of Sabine's action on the front side. So that was just a little kind of how to play. Just real quick, I want these to be short and sweet, but there it is, Sabine Vigilance. So
this party's over.